Good day and welcome, dear students. Welcome to our first video lesson. By the way, my name is Jerald A. Bulan. I am your teacher in English 7. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to use expressions and figures of speech for comparison. Before we proceed, let us define what an analogy is. Analogy is a comparison of two otherwise unlike things based on resemblance of a particular aspect. When do we use analogy? We use analogies in our everyday lives through the use of figurative language. Figures of speech are tools to draw analogies. A figure of speech is a form of expression used to convey meaning or heighten effect, often by comparing or identifying one thing with another that has a meaning or connotation familiar to the reader or listener. As what I've said, we use analogies in our everyday lives through the use of figurative language. Figurative language conveys vivid images to the minds of the readers, meaning to say, in a figurative language, we are always expected to apply the imaginative meaning rather than the literal meaning. Let us have the first one, which is a simile. Simile is a figure of speech that compares two different objects using keywords such as like or as. Always bear in mind that simile uses keyword like or as. Similes are vivid descriptions intended to stimulate the reader's imagination. Let us have our first example. During this term, people in vehicles look like cocoons peeping out of their thick wraps like solemn pupae. In the given example, the writer gives readers more vivid picture of how the people look like while out in the rain. Because of that given example, or because of the comparison, because the writer compared the people's vehicles to a cocoons and the people to a pupae, we are able to imagine just how the people look like while out in the rain. The use of the simile to compare the people's vehicles to cocoon and the people to pupae describes to us the people's need for protection from the onslaught of the wind and the storm. Let us have more examples. The metal twisted like a ribbon. Like was used as a keyword. The twisted metal is being compared to a ribbon. Because, or applying the imaginative meaning, it only states or shows that or how twisted the metal was. Because of it, we are able to picture out how twisted the metal. Let us have the next example. She is as white as snow. The subject is being compared to a snow. The keyword is as. We know that snow is white. We all know how white the snow is. Because of it, we are able to picture out or imagine how white the girl or the subject is. Next, he is like a flagpole. The subject here is being compared to a flagpole. Applying again the imaginative meaning, the characteristics of a flagpole is tall and thin. It simply states that the subject here is also tall and thin. Because of comparing the subject to a flagpole, we are able to imagine how tall and thin that person is. Let us have the next one. Her skin is as smooth as a rose petals. The skin of the subject is being compared to a rose petal, implying or applying again the imaginative meaning. We all know how smooth a rose petal is. Because of the comparison, we are able to imagine the skin of the subject. It creates vivid pictures in our mind. Again, as was used in comparing. Before we proceed to the next one, let us first take note that using the word like or as doesn't make a simile. For example, in this one, he is like a flagpole. When we say I like her, I like him, because the word like was present doesn't necessarily mean that it is a simile. Because there must be a comparison. If there is no comparison, then therefore, that is not a simile. Let us proceed to the next one, that is metaphor. Metaphor compares two unlike things without using like or as. Metaphor is also a comparison. It is a comparison. Only that metaphor does not use the word like or as. Take note that metaphor is a direct comparison. Like or as are not used in it. Let us have the first example. The wind huffed and squalled that night. A huffing sound is an angry made as one breathes, as if emitting puffs, the way steamboats or steam kettles emit puffs of a steam. A squall is a loud, angry scream. Thus, the use of these words in a metaphor to describe the wind pictures to the reader the strength and might of the storm. The reader can imagine how people inside the house felt during the storm. Because of this, which is a huffing sound, huff and squalled, huff and squalled that night. We are able to imagine just how strong the wind that night. And we are also able to imagine how the people inside that house, felt during the storm. The next one is the calm lake was a mirror. Let us first know the characteristics of a mirror. A mirror is static, clear, it is not moving. So, the lake is being compared to a mirror. So if we are going to apply the imaginative meaning, we will be able to picture out just how calm lake was that time. The word like or as are not present, but still there is a comparison. All the world is a stage. The world here, world, is being compared to a stage. All the world is a stage. Is there a comparison? Yes, there is. Let us have the next one. Men are dogs. Men are dogs. Some probably would question this one. But always bear in mind that always bear in mind or think about the good characteristics of a dogs. Dogs are tough, might, they are strong, they are brave. So if we're going to apply the imaginative meaning of that one, we'll also come up with the idea that men are strong, they are brave. There is a comparison because of it. We are able to understand, we are able to picture out how strong men are. The next one is she has a stone heart. Stone. The heart of the subject is being directly compared to a stone. So what are the characteristics of a stone? Hard, strong. So because of it, we are able to picture out or imagine how cold the subject is, how cold the heart is of the subject. We'll come up with the idea that she is hard to please, hard to move, or cold-hearted. That would be all for today's video lesson or for our lesson. If you have queries, questions, clarifications, you may PM me on my account. That will be all. Again, thank you for listening. God bless.